Hi there, I'm Scott, and this is GreatScott Knitting, and it is Passover night 5. Yes, night 5. Does that seem right? Am I off on my count? No, it's night 6, but it's the 5th night of the Omer. That's right. It's off by a day. That's why it gets very confusing for me. Simple things like that can get very confusing. So it is night 5 of the Omer, night 6 of the Passover celebration. And so we go into day 6 of the Omer, day 5 of the Omer. See, I'm totally confused. And now you are too. So it's the 6th night that I've been doing this show, podcast thingy for Passover, but it's the 5th night of the Omer. So let's get that out of the way. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech ha'olam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu al sfirat ha'omer hayom hamisha yamim la'omer. Today is 5 days of the Omer. And the concept for the week is chesed, or loving kindness. And on this 5th night of the week that we are discussing, we are talking about the humility in loving kindness. Chad Shebechesed. So Chad Shebechesed. It's as the humility, being humble while being kind or being loving. The humility of it. So in Aish.com, and you know what? I can start sharing this with you. I really could. So day 5, the meditation there is you can get locked in love and be unable to forgive your beloved or to bend or compromise your position. Had, or humility, introduces the aspect of humility in love, the ability to rise above yourself and forgive or give in to the one you love just for the sake of love, even if you're convinced that you're right. Arrogant love is not love. So the exercise is to swallow your pride and reconcile with a loved one with whom you have quarreled. It's an interesting take, not necessarily the direction that my mind went when I saw this, the idea of humility in loving kindness. But then again, I'm focusing more on the chesed, the kindness side of chesed, not just the love or the amorous side that you might have with a significant other, but more the kindness that one shows to everyone, but that it also translates into how you treat those others around you in the outer world, be they close to you or complete strangers. Again, the allergies today. So Chad, being humble while being kind. For me, I think that the humility of it is I've alluded to it before in some former nights, the idea of being kind without necessarily taking credit for it, without honking your horn and saying how kind I'm being, to do it just for the sake of it, without the recognition, without the pat on the back for having been kind. That idea of being kind simply for kindness' sake, the kindness in being kind, But I think the humbleness of it, the not looking for necessarily anything in return other than the knowledge that you were kind to another person, that self-knowledge, that being true to oneself is an aspect to that, and not necessarily going out and putting on a billboard, look how kind I am. Kind of like during the last presidential administration, that concept of creating a problem so you can solve it and look how wonderful you are, when you're the one that caused the problem to begin with. And we're not talking about that at all. We're talking about that idea of doing something because it's right, doing something because it's kind, um, doing something because it will be beneficial for another person, or maybe even the world at large, but not from a standpoint of getting something back from the world or from the person you're being kind to. Um, it's allowing the ripple effect of your actions to go out without that recognition of that you're the one that was the stone or threw the stone that caused the ripples. I don't know. In other words, it's not about you. It's about the act. Cool. That's where I'm at with that. It's been really interesting to consider acts of kindness and the different levels and ways that kindness can be, and the different aspects of that philosophy, that attitude of kindness. So it's been kind of a fun thing to think about. So what else has been going on today? It was a nice day today. I relatively active at work. There was some trainings that I did today, which were on topics that I knew, actually, in all honesty, in all humbleness, knew very little about, but got through it, and that's what's important. And what's even more important than that, I think people got something out of it. The students that I was teaching got something out of it, so that's always a good thing. Got out of the house just briefly today after work, and did something I haven't done in a long time. And I used to do it daily when I used to commute, in the before years. That idea of listening to NPR in the car as you're driving around. And this happened to me, and this used to happen to me several times a week when I was a commuter. I pulled into our driveway while listening to a story on NPR and could not get out of the car before that story had reached its final conclusion. And those driveway moments that they're called, has that ever happened to you? Do you listen to NPR at all? And has that ever happened to you, where you're driving, you get to your destination, but you can't get out of the car because you're so wrapped up in the story that is being told until it's over, and then you can get out of the car? And that happens to me almost every time I turn NPR, and that is why I love it. That's why I love listening to that station. And I always, whenever I'm traveling, I seek out the local NPR station so I can hear All Things Considered in the morning and or afternoon or whatever it is. Anyway, that the shows that I listen to in the morning and in the evening. I just love them. So much so that I don't remember the names of them. That's how much I love them. Um, a little bit of progress on the shawl. Let me pop over and show you that real quick. So yeah, just a little bit of progress. So I went from like here to here. So about 2 inches. But I really do love when I look at it on camera. It in person, like the eyes blend it a bit more than on the camera. You see more of the distinctness to it, of the different colors and the pattern that's coming together. Um, yes, coming along nicely, starting to look very shawl-ish, shawl-like. Oh, while I was out, I picked up a treat that I thought had gone away forever, but they have come back, and I am so pleased. Necco Wafers. I love these things. So, yes, they are back. I went to my local pharmacy, and there they were on the shelf. I just about screamed out in joy when I saw them. Yes, Necco Wafers are back. So, if you are not aware of what these lovely little chalky discs are all about, do you remember conversation hearts? And I'm not talking about the nasty things they have out to now. I'm talking about the original ones, like that I remember from the 70s. They, had this sort of chalky but interesting fruit flavor with then the words on them. Well, this company, back when it was this company doesn't exist anymore, but the Necco company is what made those conversation hearts. They created them. They were made out of the same candy as the Necco Wafers. So that's what makes me think of conversation hearts, but these also are a reminder of my childhood. I remember having these from my grandparents. They used to have these. My grandmother had these in her purse almost all the time and would dole them out to keep us quiet during church or something. They come wrapped in this wax papery type of thing, and that's how they originally were. They were, I guess, they started making these in 1847 and were in constant production up until 2 years ago when the company was purchased and shut down. So there we have it. They're coming back. I looked it up online. There's some company that bought the rights to the Necco wafer and has been reproducing them and selling them since the beginning of this year. So yay, the Necco wafer is back, and maybe next year, conversation hearts, the original. That'd be great. What else going on? That's about it. Anyway, it's been a good day. I hope you've had a good day as well. Yeah. So I guess with that, we'll go ahead and end it a little earlier than usual. I've shared what I wanted to share today. So I hope you've had a good day wherever you are, that you're enjoying this exploration of humility, and my progress on my shawl. I should really start making some progress on my sweater, but I'm kind of getting out of sweater weather, so I will commit to getting it done before summer solstice. Yeah. That way it's nice and ready to go for winter. But I'm having too much fun doing this other stuff, which I'm just going to have to go where my heart and my fingers want to go in terms of my fiber and my knitting. One other thing, actually, now that it comes up to me. So my first skein that I knit, or that I dyed up, so this lovely thing, which actually, I mean, like, I really love these colors. I think they're very, very pretty. So I want to knit some companion skeins to go with it. Because I have two more blank sisters, and I want some ideas. And here's what I'm thinking. I want them to be related to each other, but I want these other two to be less busy in terms of the color. And I'm wanting to I want to consider what would go well together. What would pair well, in terms of color, depth of shade, style, in all of these things, because this skein has both light sort of airier patches and then other intense sections. So I just am not entirely sure where to go with the sister skeins. I'm thinking some semi-solids on one, but I'm not sure what color to go to. And I don't want to go dark, so I'm thinking some kind of, not pastel, but some medium toned something or other. I just don't know what that something or other would be at this point. And the other one, potentially speckles. Not heavy, but not too heavy, but sort of speckled, but maybe on a base color. I don't know. These are sock weight, or sock. Yeah, they are fingering weight, 75-25 superwash merino, nylon blend from Dyer Supplier. It's a lovely base to work with. But if you have ideas about colors to dye them in, and techniques that would look well with that highly variegated colorway, which is based in primary colors, so your reds and blues. There's definitely, because of the blending of the color, there's some purples. The green, it really didn't come out with much green at all, although there's some specks of green and orange in there, but those aren't as strong as actually the blending of the red and blue into the purple. So if you have an idea where to go with that, I'm not sure what to do at this point. So cool. Anyway, so there we go. I hope you've enjoyed this little episode. I hope you're having a wonderful week. Tomorrow we start into Shabbat, which will be nice. I'm looking forward to the end of the week and having a little weekend. So you can find me on the various social media platforms. I have a page on Facebook called GreatScott Knitting. You can find me on Instagram at GreatScott Knitting. And I am on Ravelry as GreatScott KCMO. Sure. So if you enjoyed this video, click the little thumbs up. If you like what you see on this channel, click the subscribe button. And if you want to be notified of when I upload new content, click the little bell icon. And again, a little extra challenge that I'm going to start throwing in. Tell a friend. Share what you like here with someone else. So there. Thanks. May you have peace in your home and the fullness of joy for all who dwell there. Good night.